Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs such as Tracy Bunning. She's a realtor with Keller Williams. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm doing just terrific.
Thank you.
You are a realtor, you're an educator.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about the educator part.
Well, I have been the kind of person who's always looking to put procedures in place and simplify things so that I don't forget to do something. And so what I've done is I've put together procedures in place for myself, and now I'm going to be teaching others to do the same. So right now I am being certified as, it's called The One Thing. It was a book written by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller, and they have this training, and it teaches you to focus on that one thing that is going to get you to your next step. So
give me an example.
Well, for example, if you're in real estate like myself, and you're trying to get listings, right? You have to do a certain amount of cold calling and phone conversations. And so what we do is we say from 9 to 11, that's your time, that's your 20%. Be selfish about it. Don't let anybody take that time away from you.
Or anything for that matter, because
and so,
you get distracted with social media
exactly.
and so many things.
So no email, no children falling down and killing themselves, nothing. Just plain old. From 9 to 11, I am going to focus on that, and my whole life, other than that 80% does not matter right at this moment. Whatever happens between that 9 and 11 will still be there at 11:01. So basically, we teach people to do an extreme version of time blocking, and so it's a really incredible training, and I am so super excited to be certified to do this training. There aren't very many people that are certified right now. There's a very few of them, and this actual book has gone worldwide and has been produced in 30 languages.
It seems to me that to block that amount of time, all you have to do is use a different phone, maybe use a line phone and start making phone calls and turn off your cell phone.
Exactly.
That would probably be, for me,
yeah,
that's it.
Well, you're right. Media is such a hard thing to get away from, especially if you are on your cell phone, you're making a phone call and another phone call is beeping in, or you get an email or a text message and it shows up on the front of your phone and you're like, oh, let me just see what that is. Oh, no. This is my 20%. So I need to stay focused on the 20%. And it's very easy for a person to actually get, drawn out of their 20% and into something else.
Oh, very, very, very simple.
Yeah. I mean, we even tell our friends at the office, please don't ask me any questions from 9 to 11. See the sign on the door? It says, please do not talk to me between 9 and 11. And it's just because they may have one question, and that one question may take you away, and then you have to pick up where you left off, and you lose all that time.
I get that.
Yeah.
How practical, though, is that in today's world? Because we are learning more and more to be quote-unquote multitaskers, to be able to make those phone calls at those times, and perhaps we're not going to find those people that we're cold calling within those times, so we're going to have to return calls probably in the afternoon, or somebody calls you back, that call that you made at 9:05, they might return you, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How is that in reality? I hear the concept, but how does that in reality work?
I see what you're asking, and it is very valid. What we do between that 9 and 11 is make those outgoing calls. After you're done, when those calls come back in, that's just your 80%. That's the part of your day where you're answering phone calls anyway.
Even if the person that you call between 9 and 10, say, is calling you back between 10 and 11, you don't answer the call.
For me, I write the numbers down, so I do recognize those numbers, and then I'll see that the number is from one of the ones I've dialed, and I will answer that if I'm not on a call currently. But it's a little bit of a juggling thing you have to do, and it takes an extreme amount of patience and discipline, especially if you're somebody who works from home and you have people around you who just you know, your family is never consistent, and they'll never, you tell them, hey, 9 to 11, I'm busy, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, you know.
in this plan, do you recommend actually getting out of the house for this between 9 and 11, go somewhere where you can dedicate yourself to exclusively doing this task?
That's something that Gary Keller did intend for this, was to be isolated. In Scottsdale, at our Keller Williams branch over there, they have little cubicles that are glass. It has a little table and a bar stool, right, that you can either stand or sit at this in the cubicle, and it closes the door and it says, please no disturbances from 9 to 11. So you are completely cut off from everybody in your office. And you know, a lot of them use calling lists to just go from one call to the next to the next.
And do you do this on a daily basis?
Yes, we do.
Have you tried it yourself?
Oh yes. Yes, many times. I am still getting used to the 9 to 11 discipline. I mean,
it's very, you have to be so disciplined in doing this thing to put everything away. I know Taylor wouldn't be able to do it. I know I wouldn't be able to do it because we got to check our emails. We got to check we got to get back to people, and it's very fast paced.
Especially in today's environment where everything is instant. You know, being that we have email and cell phones and things like that. I don't know how realtors did business 20 years ago. I really don't understand what they did, because they had to go to an appointment, drive all the way back to the office, get more information, go to another appointment, answer phone calls that came in on the landline. I take my hat off to those people.
You, as an entrepreneur, you just started.
Yes.
As a real estate agent. What did you do before?
A number of things. Mostly, I have been in the advertising and printing industry for almost 20 years, and I did own my own ad agency in Florida for some time until we got hurricaned out with 3 hurricanes that were Hurricane 4s. Yeah. And unfortunately, the statistics are that after the first hurricane, 50% of new businesses will go out of business. I held on till the 3rd one.
Wow.
So I really was hanging on with all my nails and claws included. But it was an amazing experience. I was a one-man band, and I used to broker out all my work to people that I trusted. I had these people that basically are my staff. They just weren't in my office. And we did everything from business card design to 30-second radio and television commercials, point of sale signs, billboards. We did everything. If there was a desire for it, we did it. And it was fantastic. I got to write, produce, and direct a 30-second commercial. And I also...
How was that experience?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
It's not as easy as it sounds, is it?
It's not. And the commercial was for this closed community, that was building new homes, and they had, 5-acre lots. Right. And the builder, the realtor, was also the builder, right? And so it was a different type of community where they had horses and all kinds of things on the properties. And so what we did is we actually got horses for the commercial, and we shot them going down the pebble road of this community with a carriage, and a husband and wife in the carriage with their
you got all the live props,
parasol.
Man. You just did it right.
It was amazing. Need I tell you that all the horses that were in the enclosed areas were whinnying and looking at the boys to see, hey, what's this guy doing over here?
You did it right.
It was amazing.
Let me ask you this: as an entrepreneur, of course, you've been in that in the advertising business, and now you're in the real estate business and more in the educational aspect of it. What's the best advice you ever received?
That's hard to say, because I've had so many people give me very good advice. But I think, with everything that you do in your life, there will be something that you take away from each little opportunity you've had, especially when you're meeting the caliber of people like Raquel Quinnett, for example, she's our vice president for the entire 5 doors on talent acquisition, right? She was the person who interviewed me, and since that interview, she moved on to being the vice president of talent acquisition. And so this woman has so much wealth of knowledge. It's incredible. When you sit and you talk to her, you're in awe, because you just think to yourself, well, why didn't I know that? Wow. You know? So I think every time you're with a certain company, or you're doing something to improve yourself, or to have your own business, there is a certain element that comes with it that you will discover all on your own. And it's very hard to find that, but eventually you do. And I think the thing that I learned the most being in business on my own is never take for granted the people who help you. Because without all my vendors, when I had my ad agency, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did and look so professional. So, there's a lot of elements, but I think I have a bunch of little what do you call them, sayings, I guess. And
it's your favorite one?
Yep, and one of them is, you're not your resume, you're your work. And that is something that I really and truly believe in, because you can have a fabulous resume, but if you mess up on your last job, you're only as good as that last job. No one's going to look at your resume and say, oh wow, you worked with, Coldwell Banker, or, Keller Williams, or whatever. They don't care. They're just concerned with, what are you doing for me right now? And so you need to make sure that every job you do, every time you do it, it's your best job. And it's really hard, because we all have our ups and downs.
Sure.
And to be consistent in that manner, day after day, job after job, if you can do that, you're amazing.
You're wonderful. Where's that accent from?
South Africa.
What part?
I was born in Johannesburg and lived in Johannesburg most of my life, and then I moved to Durban, and I lived in Durban, which is kind of like a beach town like Florida.
Yes.
So I lived there for 10 years, and then I came to America.
What do you like better?
Well, you never ever lose your home and your values that you bring from your home. And I think one of the things that I love about being South African is that South African people are very hard workers. We've never asked for handouts or anything to be given. We are determined to work for that. And I think that is one of the things that have made me as successful as I am right now. In the first 10 years I was in America, I wrote a novel with a ghostwriter. I designed a personal planner, which I got out, and I had a full United States utility patent on a child safety product. And those never came to me. Those were just things that I worked on that, I saw a need in my life, and I was like, well, is somebody doing that? Has somebody got something like that? No? Okay, I'm the person. I'm going to do it. And so I did.
Yes, you're very impressive.
Thank you.
And by the way, you're just the easiest person to interview in the world, because you just love to chat.
Oh gosh, yes. Like I said earlier, I can chat the hind legs off a donkey.
I just do push play and you're gone.
Yeah, I have never had a problem talking. Sometimes it's been to my advantage, because I've talked myself out of really bad situations. But
you're a joy.
I enjoy sharing with people, because I feel like, it's such an opportunity to learn. And one of the things that's so deeply important to me in my life is learning. If I could be a full-time student at the College of Life, I would be right there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, all of us would be.
Yeah.
But sadly, this is just so many minutes.
Absolutely.
So I have to let you go.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, that was fun. That happened so quickly.
It happened. You think it happened so quickly? We've been here for about 5 hours.
Oh.
With that, we're out.